For most of human history, wolves were the thing people feared in the dark. Long before dogs slept on couches, chased tennis balls, wore tiny sweaters, or greeted their owners like returning heroes, they were wild predators roaming across Europe, Asia, and North America. They hunted in packs, they communicated through howls, they could track prey across enormous distances, and unlike humans, wolves were already perfectly adapted to surviving in some of the harshest environments on Earth. If you were a human living tens of thousands of years ago, a wolf pack was not something you wanted to encounter alone. And yet somehow, out of all the dangerous animals humans shared the planet with, wolves became dogs. Not just companions, not just pets, but one of the closest relationships between two completely different species in the history of Earth. The strange part is that it probably happened by accidents. Around 30,000 years ago, humans lived as hunter-gatherers. There were no cities, no farms, no roads. Small groups traveled constantly following animals, searching for food, and trying to survive a world that was far more dangerous than the one we know today. And wherever humans went, they left something behind: food scraps, bones, discarded remains from successful hunts. To most animals, approaching a human camp was incredibly risky. But some wolves saw opportunity. Imagine a cold night somewhere during the Ice Age. A human campfire burns in the darkness. Nearby, a few wolves watch from a distance. Most remain cautious. Humans are dangerous, but a handful of wolves are slightly less fearful. Instead of running away, they move a little closer. Not close enough to be attacked, just close enough to grab scraps left behind by humans. For those wolves, life suddenly becomes easier. Less hunting, less risk, more food, and that small difference changes everything. The friendliest wolves gain an advantage. They survive longer. They have more offspring, generation after generation. Natural selection begins favoring wolves that can tolerate humans. Not because humans planned it, not because wolves suddenly became friendly, but because fear became less useful than opportunity. Slowly, over thousands of years, some wolf populations start changing. Their behavior becomes different. Their appearance begins to change. Their bodies become smaller. Their faces become less intimidating. Their personalities become more tolerant. Without realizing it, humans and wolves are beginning one of the most important partnerships in history, and humans quickly discover something interesting. Those wolves hanging around camp aren't just eating scraps. They're useful, very useful. Wolves have incredible senses. They can smell danger long before humans notice it. They can hear things from remarkable distances. At night, when humans are sleeping, nearby wolves can detect approaching predators or strangers. In a world where survival depends on noticing threats quickly, that advantage is enormous. But the relationship doesn't stop there. Humans are excellent at making tools. Wolves are excellent hunters. Together, they become something neither species could achieve alone. The early proto-dogs help track animals. They follow scents across landscapes. They assist during hunts. Humans gain more food. The dogs gain more food. Everyone benefits, and over time, the partnership becomes stronger. This is what makes the story of dogs different from almost every other domesticated animal. Most domesticated animals were raised for food, labor, or materials. Dogs were different. Dogs became partners. Some scientists even argue that dogs may have helped humans become more successful as a species. Think about it. A hunting group with dogs can find prey more efficiently, protect camps more effectively, travel through unfamiliar environments more safely. That advantage compounds over generations. As humans spread across continents, dogs spread with them. Across frozen tundras, through forests, across mountains, into entirely new parts of the world. By the time agriculture appeared thousands of years later, dogs were already deeply integrated into human life. And as human civilization expanded, dogs evolved alongside it. Different jobs created different dogs. Some became herders, some became guardians, some became hunters, some became companions. Humans began selectively breeding dogs for specific traits. The result was something extraordinary. From a single ancestor, humans eventually created hundreds of different breeds. Tiny Chihuahuas, massive Great Danes, fast Greyhounds, powerful Mastiffs, all descended from wolves. If you think about it, that's almost unbelievable. One of the most feared predators in human history eventually produced animals small enough to fit inside a handbag. But perhaps the most remarkable transformation wasn't physical. It was psychological. Dogs became experts at understanding humans. Research has shown that dogs can follow human pointing gestures with incredible accuracies. They can recognize emotions. They can distinguish facial expressions. They often understand human intentions better than many other highly intelligent animals. Some studies have even found that dogs outperform chimpanzees when interpreting certain human social cues. Think about how strange that is. Chimpanzees are our closest living relatives, but dogs may understand our behavior better, because for thousands of years, dogs evolved specifically alongside humans. They learned our habits, our signals, our routines. In many ways, dogs became specialists in understanding people, and humans responded by becoming deeply attached to them. Today, there are nearly 1 billion dogs living around the world. They help guide blind individuals, locate disaster survivors, assist police and military units. And for millions of people, they are family members. All because tens of thousands of years ago, a few wolves made a simple decision. Instead of staying away from humans, they moved a little closer. Neither species knew what would happen next. Those cautious steps toward ancient campfires eventually created one of the longest-lasting partnerships in history. And tonight, somewhere nearby, a descendant of those ancient wolves is probably asleep on a couch, stretched across a bed, or waiting patiently near a door. Completely unaware that its ancestors once howled beneath Ice Age skies, a wild predator became humanity's closest companion. And all because two species discovered that life was better together than apart.